You've got what it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like SimRigs and TrackRacer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural round of the ARCA Sparks Championship here at Dover. We are at the Monster Mile today for this round one. I am Mr. Carl Wilkinson with you up here in the commentary booth with Kobe Jordan on the cameras doing all the hard work in the background, and I'm joined by Mr. Big Al and James Watson up here tonight in the booth. Big Al, welcome to the booth, and well, exciting race looking forward to here tonight.
Hello, are we on the air? Yes, we are. We're live and we're ready to go. And I tell you what, I am pumped up, excited, man. Hey, thank you for the welcome. The ARCA Sparks iRacing League. This is something I've been waiting for a while. I was actually supposed to be a part of it, but that's a different story. Pass it on over to James Watson, another good friend of mine. James, how you doing, boss?
Oh, I'm doing good. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to being a part of this. It's always cool being a part of a brand new league, and yeah, I can't wait to see how it goes, especially with these brand new cars.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's a brand new car for a lot of people. A lot of people haven't really done too much time in this new generation of ARCA car. It's very different to the last last iteration. It's a very different beast to drive, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You go ahead, James.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of handles, from what I gathered, completely different to what the original ARCA car was that everyone is familiar with. You know, the original ARCA car was a lot looser. You had to really kind of drive it with the throttle. You also had all that skew on the right rear that you had to worry about. Here, these things tend to be a lot more on the tighter side with these new ARCA cars, so you kind of have to drive them a completely different way. You have to worry about a lot more dirty air and aero wash. That's always a tough recipe that you have to deal with here at Dover, a place that's always terrible when it comes to aero push.
So, as we're getting ready for this one, let's look at the track. We are at the Monster Mile. We are at Dover. 1 mile of furious racing on fantastic concrete surface. A very different style of track. Very, very tricky to get right sometimes. We're looking at 150 laps here tonight. Pit speed limit is 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour. 100% fuel for everybody, so there will be some fuel stops. 4 sets of tyres for the field, and it is a fixed setup tonight, so no worrying about tweaking the setups, getting that all done. But everybody is on an equal playing field, and Big Al, it's a funny car to drive sometimes with the entry as well. You used to be able to sort of power it through and get on the throttle early. Now you have to lift off a little bit and just be quite tentative, as James was saying. You've got to be a little bit cautious because these things get tight.
Yeah, I didn't get that memo, so obviously I've been kind of just digging this thing since it came out week 13 in the sim, and I got out there and I was racing, and I was literally keeping the hammer down and just, getting on the brakes, but without ever lifting it, and I found out you can do that for like 3 laps. And then, well, good luck. And to match what James is saying, this thing, this is not a trick pony. This isn't a Tennessee walking horse. I mean, this thing is just, it's all colt. It's all thoroughbred. It's loose. It's untamed, and you can really feel it in the seat. And what about the sound, guys?
Got a big 6.5 5-litre engine in the front, producing what is 700, 800 horsepower in a car that weighs almost nothing. Of course, it's a composite construction for the panels now, and still a steel frame chassis, but it's a relatively light car with just a huge amount of horsepower. It is really a beast to tame, James.
Yeah, it really is, and I really appreciate the fact that these are composite bodies now. You know, it allows you to kind of be a little more aggressive in side-by-side racing. With the old ARCA car, they were still sheet metal, and you had all, like I said, all that skew in the right rear, so you really had to be careful of putting it into the wall or putting it in another car and kind of bending up all that side force. But here, you can be a little more aggressive. You have a little more strength in the body, so you can really use that to your advantage and not have to worry about getting too close to the wall or your other competitors.
Well, we're just heading in to qualifying right now. We just see Steve Hoppett on screen in the 131, the 131 web studio, web radio even, there we go, sponsored car. Of course, big thank you to them for jumping on board as series sponsors. We also have everything simulated and, of course, TWR setups. A big thank you to all of the sponsors coming on board for the series, helping us bring you this fantastic action. And we are looking forward to this one. So qualifying, it's going to be, it's not super important, but at a place like Dover, you don't want to be too far at the back at the start because it's quite easy to have a big accident and get caught up in that.
Yeah, I can think of that massive wreck here back in 2008 where I think Elliott Sadler spun and it ended up taking out another like 5 or 6 cars. The other good thing about Dover is when you do get into a wreck, all you need to do is wait a little bit, and they're all just kind of slide down to the inside wall. I got them self-cleaning banking there. But yeah, you always have to be careful because, again, there's no real room to work with. Like, this track is narrow. It's almost claustrophobic, it feels like, in some regards. So if there's something happening, chances are you're going to be involved in it.
Yeah, man, and another thing is getting down on pit road. That's definitely going to prove to be a challenge for a lot of drivers. Hopefully we'll get some green flag racing, and it's totally going to be up to the field. But if we do, getting that thing broke down and getting it down to pit road speed, we saw it on the sign earlier, 35 miles an hour. Guys, it's really complicated to get this beast of a machine dialed all the way back and down because you're literally going from fourth gear all the way down to second, probably first gear once you hit in pit road entrance. So that's going to be something else we're going to be watching tonight.
24, giving the ball a big hit there. That is not what you want to do too often, and that's not going to help the qualifying run there. Greg Wyszynski there, just giving the ball a big whack, and that's hurt the qualifying run there. Currently, it's Cody Kinsey up in first place at the moment with a 20.017. Almost making it into the 22s. Still got quite a few cars left to qualify. I think they're just waiting for that ever-important qualifying cloud maybe to come over, give them that little bit of extra opportunity, or they're just wanting to get into the race, not worrying too much about the qualifying session.
Hey, James, I got a question for you. Is qualifying, I know we're getting ready to wrap it up, but is that something that you would consider, or would you maybe start from the back here and just drive your way through cautiously?
Oh no, I try to be as far up at the front as I can. This place is not easy to pass because of, like I mentioned earlier, the dirty air always seems to wreak havoc here. And plus, it's just hard to pass because running the middle as a defensive line, it works really well. You got so much momentum coming up off of the corner that unless that car on your outside kind of slips up a little bit or their tires are really off, chances are they're going to be able to pull right back around you. And plus, because of the banking is so weird on that exit, it just kind of shoots you up back onto the straightaway. You get really close at catching the wall, and because of that, it's not easy to really be side by side through corner exit. So I don't want to be anywhere involved in that. I want to be as far up front as I can, take care of my tires, not have to worry about a lot of the chaos, and just, keep myself safe.
So we'll just run to a very quick commercial as qualifying ends, and then we'll bring you the grid for this, the first round of the ARCA Spark series. And we are back and ready to bring you the racing grid for tonight's race, the starting grid, and taking the first pole position for the series. It's Cody Kinsley starting out on the front row with Tyler McGee on his outside. On row number 2, we have Chaz Justice with Jerry Waters. On row number 3, we have Jonathan Ray with Jeff Engler. On row 4, we have Sebastian Kinder with Matty Cisner. And on row number 5, it's Greg Wojcicki with Steve Hoppett.
That's going to put Devin Baker starting off in 11th place with Chris Severa on his outside in 12th. 13th place is going to show us Ruben Phelps with Kenny Powell starting in 14th. 15th place shows Dave Long with Matty Raymond in 16th. 17th, we roll down to Paul Ocean, and he has David Gervais starting beside him in 18th. And then rounding out the top 20, we've got Troy Mortensen and Tristan Cole.
And on the back row, we've got Matt Brith and Troy Mortensen. The 21 cars out there tonight. Hopefully we can make the grid. So just pop it up on my screen. We'll see if we manage to actually get out there. But a decent field tonight. Plenty of cars, plenty of action to come here. And as James was saying, starting on that front row could be really important out there. You're not going to get that dirty air. You're not going to get... you're a little bit less at risk if there is that early caution as well, Big Al.
Yeah, definitely, and that's not what anybody is wanting to see. Remember, this field has 0 fast repairs. That means you run what you brung. If it's damaged, you're done. If it goes behind the wall, hey, it depends on how much damage it's going to take. Lights off on the pace car. Looks like we're getting ready to take this thing green here as we're going down the back stretch. One final time, guys on parade for what seems to be a fully packed field here at Dover International Speedway.
Absolutely, and we're about to go green here for the first time. Pace car will peel in, and then Cody Kinsey will be leading the field. He'll become the effective pace car, going up to the start line, getting ready for that green flag to drop here. We're going through the final corner, turn number 4 for the first time tonight. Green flag drops and away they go. Good start for the low line, getting away nicely. Kinsley getting well away on that bottom line. Everybody away cleanly at the moment as they head into turn 1 for the first time. Everybody getting it checked up, getting it turned in nicely. The field spreading through the first corner nicely, getting off onto turn 2. Everybody keeping it in the right direction as they head down the back straight for the first time. It's 3 and 4 now. Down low we see Kinsey. Car going up a little bit higher. I think that's Jonathan Ray in the background. A few cars choosing different lines. A couple of people giving the wall a whack, but we are away. We are green for the first lap, and we are goes. Oh, big moment there.
That was some heavy contact. Oh, that 37 car is not in good shape. It's a modified now. Good gracious.
That was a big old hit, and into the wall as well. 37, making sure that those composite panels get a good workout in the early stages, James.
That's got to be bad for Jonathan Ray and that team because everybody was expecting to come out here, and I was surprised we didn't have more contact going into turn 1. But James, you got to tell us What's this going to do? How's it going to affect the handling of that 37 car now?
I imagine he has absolutely no front grip right now, that he's lost all of his front downforce with the fact that the bumper cover is completely off of that thing. Honestly, I'm amazed that he's able to keep as much speed as he is, being able to fight with Sebastian Kinder here and keep him behind. Looks like Kinder's finally able to slip through and get himself up into the top 5. The crazy Frenchman here making his first appearance in the top 5.
Yeah, one thing to note, that this is a international race, multinational race, if you will. There's kind of a lot going on. You got guys driving from Australia to New England, all the way down to Virginia, all over the world essentially, and they're all here in the same time zone tonight for you and your viewing pleasure, trying to knock this down here at Dover.
I was just watching Jonathan Ray, and he's plummeting back, unfortunately, in that 37. That front end damage is definitely
hard attack for Kinder. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to be too bad. He still has the front bumper on it, but man, that was heavy contact. Yeah, you can see a little bit. I think Seb might have gotten away here, though. There's a little bit of scrapage on the paint, but I think he might have got away with that pretty scot-free. But yeah, that just proved what I was kind of warning earlier. If you're side by side with the car on your inside, it's really hard to keep it. Oh boy, oof! All kinds of action, and we're already 8 laps in. But yeah, just to finish the point, it's really hard to stay side by side and keep yourself out of the wall if you're the outside car. That wall comes up really quickly, and even if you think you have the line nailed and you're gonna be away, bam, next thing you know, you're in the wall, and right when you think you were perfectly fine.
Well, all I can say about that is it's early into the race. We're only on lap 9 of 150, so drivers are going to have to be cognizant of the lap count. They're going to have to save their equipment. Caution doesn't seem to be a factor right now, which means we could get some long green flag runs, right? Let's hope for it. Let's knock on wood for it. And if that's going to happen, preservation and conservation, those are the 2 words that these guys are going to be hearing from their crew chiefs all night.
Yeah, I think we all want to see flag stops and the calamity those could bring.
Yeah, especially after the week at Martinsville that we've seen in the A classes.
Yeah, do not remind me. I'm having flashbacks of a truck race where I think we saw just a handful of green flag laps. It's never fun, but we've got some great racing in the background down for 6th onwards. We've got 2 wide in the background, and as you were saying, it's just so tricky getting it working in the 2 wide. The aero wash on these things, it really comes into play, and you don't really think of stock cars having aero, but these things do have that little bit, and it does affect you as you're heading into the corners. I was saying earlier, Jonathan Ray is dropping right back after losing the front of his car, and it definitely seems to be affecting that 37. The front tyres are just scrubbing up on that vehicle, as we've got 2 wide here with the 93 and the number 24 of Kenny Powell battling it out on track, chopping and changing position each lap, and it looks like Powell's just got it. Nice slide job.
And I'm going to tell you what's happened as a result of Powell actually pushing the point. He's finding himself pushing up on the track, and that's exactly what occurred here. Guys, we are still only 14 laps into 150, and I think we're starting to see that a lot of guys are burning their equipment.
I think that was a little bit of netcode there.
I'm always going to stop for an ooh. Or an ooh.
Yeah, it definitely looked netcoding. I've just gone back and had a look at it, and it's sort of that, or it is the aero, the side draft coming into effect there, maybe just hitting the cushion, but it just bounced that car just out of the way, and a great save, managed to keep the car out of the wall and keep the car pointing in the right direction, but just lost a bit of lap time due to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and address a bit of an elephant in the room. Obviously, if you've followed the release of these brand new cars, you'll know that there's been a bit of issue with how the cars have been racing with netcode. Netcode seems to have been pretty significant for these cars, especially here at Dover. And there's also this interesting glitch where if a car gets close to the wall, it looks like to the trailing cars that the car is actually like slamming into it and kind of coming down. And netcode kind of furthers that in as well. It's something that we've seen in some of the open wheelers, like the Indy Pro 2000 and the 79. Obviously, Carl, you dealt with it a little bit with your broadcasting of the TNT Shock Series. So it's been causing some issues, and the community as a whole hasn't been thrilled about it. So I am curious on how it's going to affect tonight's race.
Well, I'll tell you, it's affected every race that I've been in, because even if you have the slightest incidental contact with that wall, instead of getting a 0x, it's counting times 2. And that's going to be one thing that's definitely going to affect these drivers overall, because remember, you can only get so many X's unless you're like George Strait.
That's it. 17 of those contacts will result in a drive-through penalty. 32 of them, and you're out of the race. So you've got to be a bit cautious with them. You've got to use them when you need them, and have some in your pocket in reserve, just in case you need to just shuffle somebody out of the way for a position. A car that is doing a great job of gaining positions at the moment is Ruben Phelps, up 8 positions. Chris Severa as well, up 9 positions. So some big movers and shakers through the field.
Yeah, everybody's kung fu right now, and it's still early on. Like you said, as we got 2 side by side, that 18 car of Taylor McGahee is definitely fighting for his position. Let's move just a little bit by Ruben Phelps. Phelps kind of gave the swimming move, if you get the reference.
That's one of the beautiful things about stock car racing, is it's a contact sport. You know, you can just gently nudge the person in front of you and just gently move them out of the way. You're not trying to wreck them, you're just trying to tell them that you're a bit faster. And it is such a different style of racing. If you're not used to it, you can really catch people out. They get really antsy about it, very, very like, oh my god, you hit me, oh, what are you doing? But that's the whole thing about stock car racing, is it is all about that little bit of rubbing and racing stuff. It is such a crucial part of the sport.
In the words of the late great Dale Earnhardt, I wasn't trying to wreck him. I was just gonna rattle his cage a little bit.
And the iconic line from Days of Thunder, he wasn't trying to wreck you, he was rubbing you, and rubbing, son, is racing. To paraphrase a little bit, I think I messed it up because it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but
speaking of caution for tonight, big contact going on the backstretch, and that is going to cause more than just a whoop. That's going to cause Barney the flagman to start waving, and I'm sure we're going to unpack this one for you.
So let's see what's going on there. We go back to the replay and let's talk us through this one. So a little bit of connectivity issue there in front, just that bit of contact on the back, and it's always tricky when somebody in front's got that connectivity issue. Look at Matty Ray just sliding it through there, avoiding that in contact. Gets through there nicely.
And I believe that was the 88 car David Gervais. Am I seeing that correct? A pair of Daves doing Davey stuff on the backstretch.
Dave on Dave violence.
It's important. It's a crime. But look, here's the good thing here. We made it 37 laps here before the first caution came out, and by any stretch, guys, that's pretty good. I'm just happy to see that we were actually able to pull that off. Now, drivers actually able to come down, swap out those Goodyears, get some Minoco fuel. Seems everybody's a taker.
We got 5 cars sticking it out. Chaz Justice, Chris Severa, Tyler McGee, Kenny Powell and Jeff Enger sticking it out, not coming into the lane. They've decided to stay out there 26 laps into this race. That could be interesting on the restart. We've got 5 cars on some slightly used tyres. Everybody else on some nice fresh rubber. They've got to get it up to temperature, of course, but once they do, I've got to say, they should have a little bit of an advantage here. So, as we have the first caution of the series, Chaz Justice will be leading up the front. And as we said, truly international field here today. Great to see. And that can sometimes play around a little bit because, as James was talking about before with the netcode, we do have ping and all these other things that you have to endure as a sim racing driver. It's not terrible, but it is in there, so you just have to give a little bit of extra room sometimes and not quite push as hard as you think you need to, James.
Yeah, I am relieved that netcode kinda has seemed to be behaving somewhat here. It was interesting though, because speaking on it, there seems to be a little bit of a dark pattern on the exit of the corners that is actually being caused by the netcode glances from the wall. I was curious on if we were gonna see that happen tonight, and it looks like, at least when I last looked, that it was starting to happen.
Pace car pulls in. We're about to go back to green flag racing here. It's going to be the restart zone. So the blue area on the track, the Geico restart zone. Chaz Justice will launch away when he wants to. Gets away. Big amount of wheel spin on the rear wheels. He manages to get it settled down. That's something you've got to be so cautious of, though, on the restarts when you're on worn tyres, is spinning up those rears. Everybody got away relatively clean, but that can sometimes cause a big incident.
That 18 car still got a little bit of a blinking condition. We're going to be watching him because netcode, that's just what we saw that happened that brought out the last caution. So going to be very cognizant of that. One of the new upgrades in the game, though, it actually takes those net-coded drivers, and that means a driver with a high ping or a crappy connection, if you will, and it'll put them behind the wall so it doesn't cause a caution like it just did. 002 car, though, he is feeling pretty good, trying to go back and reestablish that lead that he lost here as a result of that last caution.
Trying to keep it up there. Watch out for Ruben Phelps, the highest car on some fresh boots at the moment. The 06 is flying now. This is where the fresh rubber will start to kick in a little bit. You get a good lap or two on old tyres sometimes where you can sort of run away a little bit and get a bit of a lead, but then all of a sudden the cold tyres will switch on for those drivers that have put new boots on, and they will come flying through. This is exactly what we're seeing here from the SRM machine of Ruben Phelps, getting down on the inside of Severa, trying to make the move now. Going to use that fresh tyre to his advantage. As there's a wreck happening behind, we've got a caution going to come out. As there's a big moment for, I think it was Sebastian Kindler, and Sebastian Kindler, Davey Long, and I couldn't see who else was in that.
Matty Sistner also involved in that calamity.
Oh, sacre bleu. Le Francais driver has had a bit of a moment there, and just a bit of contact on the entry. Just goes down and makes contact with the car behind. Possibly the spotter didn't quite call it out in time that he was not clear below. And that sent the back end of the 97 going round and round. And a lot of damage to the car 97.
Yeah, what you have here is typical. Once you come out of a caution where you got guys on fresh tires, those fresh tires actually just coming in their own, getting warmed up into the zone, and then you got the guys that are in front of them on, older tires, and if you don't pack your patience, well, you'll find yourself right back down here one more time.
As we've got a couple of cars coming in to the lane, Tyler McGee, Chaz Justice, Jeff Engler coming in for their first stops of the race, so they're going to chuck some new tyres. Chris Vera and Kenny Powell staying out still, so they haven't come in for tyres. So second and third place still on some slightly worn rubber, but Ruben Phelps promoted to the lead of this race now on those 7-lap-old tyres. This is going to be helpful for him up the front. And his teammate Matty Ray also charging through the field too. And we've seen a lot of the front runners from earlier in the race drop down out of those positions. So a lot of the fast qualifiers have actually dropped back, and a lot of those people that didn't qualify have gone all the way up to the front. It's been a big role reversal almost.
Yeah, because those guys that didn't qualify, they were actually planning on doing just that. They were planning on getting in the back, taking their time on the runs, getting up front. Now, 2 cautions into it, they find themselves up front. But what's going to be interesting, and what I'm looking to see, is we've got the 10 of Chris Rivera and the 24 of Kenny Powell. Now, these 2 guys are currently sitting second and third. They're on 35-lap-old tires. And here at Dover, guys, I don't care how long you've been here, that's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, the concrete is not that forgiving on tyres, is it?
No, it's not. It kind of behaves like Darlington and Homestead with how worn the tires get, and why even just pitting a few laps later can pay huge dividends to your race and whatever advantage you'll have to the cars around you.
And the other big thing is when you're on worn tyres is that restart. It's so crucial not to spin them up. Okay, pace car is in. Phelps is going to lead away to the restart zone. He goes. He can go whenever he likes in that blue box. When will he go? He's waiting. He goes early, gets away early. The 10 of Severa gets a big amount of wheel spin, manages to get put down though. Nice throttle control from the 10. Keeps it pointing in the right direction. And that's the key thing when you're on those worn tyres, is all about the throttle control.
Yeah, looking at the angle that Severa took, it seemed like he was actually trying to get out of the way just in case there were a faster driver. But here he is now, standing in his own, as he is going to be looking to achieve the dominant position on that 6 car. Not going to let Ruben Phelps get away, and he still got his long-time buddy, the 24 Kenny Powell, in tow.
As it looks like they've all gotten away fairly clean now and got themselves up to speed, and we don't have any cautions at the moment. They're all still slipping into the sort of single file at the moment. As Severa just gave that wall a bit of a lick there.
30 also got into the wall as well too, by the looks of it.
So easy for these cars to get tight, and when we say tight, we mean understeer. The car just slides up the track. You just can't turn it anymore. You full lock on the wheel sometimes. It's almost like steering a ship with these cars. You're turning the wheel about 10 times, trying to get it turning it to the left, and it still wants to go right on you. And it is such a tricky thing to drive around. And the thing I've found with this car, sort of doing a few races myself, is big slide in the background. Great save. A great save there. I think that was Paul Olsen.
We're still wrecking.
Let's go back and see what's happened here. A little bit of contact from the car behind. Number 6 gives him a big bump in the rear. Great save from Olsen to keep that car pointing in the right direction. 6.
And I think that the previous leader, Chaz Justice, he was actually out front there too, doing a little slipping. There he is right there. Just coming onto your scene. But back on the racing surface, Ruben Phelps leading this thing around here right now.
That is wild that he was able to save it like that.
Also got a bit of a moment for the number 10, Chris Vera. He had a big hit into the back of, figure out who it was. It was Kenny Powell. So there's been a couple of moments on track, and Zvera's lost the front end of that car as well. So we saw how much that hurt Jonathan Ray earlier on. Right now, Zvera is in, severe trouble.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
And joined up here in the booth by Mr. Steve Hoppett. Steve, how you going, mate?
So bad, mate. This is not a good track for somebody with an arthritic elbow.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I was doing it pretty hard out there. I was sucking in the big ones, trying to keep this car around there. Very happy with qualifying. I think it was like a PB or something. I'm normally off the pace, but to qualify 10th, I was pretty happy with that. But gave the wall a bit of a tap, and beyond that point, my elbow started to give me some trouble, and just better off just out of the way and let these guys.
Sorry, Steve, to interrupt you. A car going round in the background, hitting the wall. I think we remained green, but big, heavy impact for.
That's been a 64 car.
Jerry Walters.
By Jerry Walters from Carolina. Sporting that TWRS logo on the back, we're going to see exactly what takes place here. Seems to be set everything. That's when he lost the fender.
Yep. Not a good spot to be that close to somebody. Something else to keep an eye on out there, guys. From the race channels, a lot of guys reporting a bit of problem with netcode, and we've seen it a couple of times so far on the broadcast.
Yeah, it's heavy impact. That was number 10 getting up into the wall as well. He just got up into the wall, clipped it. Unfortunately for Waters, just didn't have the room, couldn't get the car turned down in time. And that is a big old hit.
I think that answers your question about the handling of that 10 car. That's Chris Severa. Remember, he actually lost his front nose flip due to contact with the 24 Kenny Powell, and he is the driver that just lost it, kind of got made more contact with the wall, thus causing that contact with the 64 Jerry Walters.
So we were talking about these cars being tight, Steve, and sounds like from your elbow and everything playing up a bit, it is quite tricky to get that turning done.
Oh yeah, they're very tight. It's just the nature of the track, I think, more than anything else. Concrete surface, it can be quite tight out there, and the guys are actually talking about how tight these cars are.
Just quickly, do you have any idea of what fuel number you were getting, like sort of roughly how long they could go on a tank of gas out there?
To be perfectly honest, mate, I don't know. I wasn't really looking at it. The tyres, everything felt fine to me. I mean, I think I had plenty of fuel to go on for a while, but not really sure what the fuel usage was, to be honest. I wasn't really looking at it. I was too busy watching the other guys around me. And there we go.
We actually had previous contact to that. Our previous leader, the 93, Cody Kinsey, found himself in the wall, and then immediately following, we're going to have to see what happens right here. You'll see the 93 car comes down, trying to get the nose in. And just like that, the 37. That 37 car, Jonathan Ray from Florida. It's like he just didn't quite see what happened, and man, surprised.
Yeah, it looks like the other guy just simply gave it a tap to the wall, lost a fair bit of momentum, and Jonathan had nowhere to go.
That was not netcode.
No. Jonathan not having a great run out there, actually. There was a fair bit of chat between him and Chaz Justice, and I think their team engineers had a bit of a heated conversation at the back of the pits over something that happened in the first couple of rounds, first couple of laps as well.
Tell you what, one driver that should be really feeling pretty good about himself, that's the 5 car, Greg Wachinski. He has clawed his way up all the way to second place. He started in second, but Raymond right behind him. And Matt started back in 16th, and Dave Long's going to be behind him. So right now you got a long list of drivers that are stacking it up. Also, David Gervais in the 88 car that had previous contact, he finds himself up into the top 5. And so here's what we're watching right now. I mean, we've got panels that are everywhere. We got carts everywhere. But right now, guys, we've got a pretty consistent green flag run.
Yeah, look, Wachinski should do some good things here. There's a lot of talent in this field, but Wachinski is one of the standout drivers in the ICA series, so I expect to see him do some good things here. Chaz Justice into the pits. And apparently that's an incident points drive-through black flag for Chaz Justice. There were some words back and forward about something happened between Chaz Justice and Jonathan Ray in the first couple of laps. I didn't see it myself because I was out there and they were ahead of me, so not quite sure what all that was about, but that's obviously had something to do with the incident points for Chaz at the moment, and he's just served his drive-through and back out on track.
Well, it's a bit like the Dexy Midnight Runners song, Come On Eileen. It's poor old Johnny Ray tonight. He is not having the best of times. Had that moment where he got his front knocked off, had to go in the lane, get some repairs. He's sitting 8 laps down, and that secondary contact did not help the 37 tonight for sure. Meanwhile, up the front is Ruben Phelps in the lead, building up almost a 0.7 second lead over Greg Wachinski. Matty Ray in third, David Long and David Gervais. That's our top 5 at the moment. Jeff Engler currently sitting in 6th. Started 6th, sitting in 6th. One of the few cars that's holding position at the moment.
Ruben, our little Kiwi mate, he's having a good run out there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the kind of track where Ruben is, well, he's good on every track, unfortunately. Trying to outscore Ruben Phelps is not the easiest thing to do. He is a very quick driver, and he is just absolutely making this car work at the moment. Fastest car on track as it stands too. The Flying Kiwi is going for it at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say the temperature inside that 002 car is fairly high. Chaz Justice won't be in the best of moods or mind frames here at the moment after serving the drive-through, and he's just had Ruben Phelps put a lap on him. So he's got some work to do out there in the 002 car, Chaz Justice.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's 2 laps down, unfortunately, but he is the first car that is sort of a lap down / 2 laps down, so a caution now would be very, very useful for Chaz Justice. Matty Burke will be the final car on the lead lap in 13th position, number 4 G Fuel machine. But we've got some good racing on track, and it's starting to spread out a little bit, starting to get into a rhythm now. And this is the thing, when you get a green flag stint like this, it really starts to spread the field out a little bit, and you start to get a bit of breathing room. So we've got 87 laps remaining here tonight. It is the ARCA Sparks Series, brought to you by TWR. Everything simulated. And 131 Web Radio. A big thank you to all our sponsors for that. Big thank you to everybody out there watching tonight as well, watching the first broadcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it on the socials, because that will help get the word out for the ARCA Sparks Series. Get some more people out there watching, listening to us as well, and bring some more people into the fold as well. You can of course join in the league as well as a driver too. We are more than happy to have some more drivers in the field, and good turnout here tonight, and we're getting some good racing now. This is where the racing really comes into its own. You've got a big long green flag stint like this, James.
Yeah, it's really nice to get a green flag run like this. I think it was a pretty big worry on a lot of people's minds of this race potentially being a bit of a wreck fest at times, but this has been pretty clean, knock on wood. You know, this is what we love to see. We love to see green flag racing good on-track battles, guys having to manage their tires and manage how hard they push, and we're getting to see that. This is a really great run we're seeing. And hopefully it continues. Hopefully it goes like this throughout all the way to the checkered.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely gonna give a kudos to Kobe for putting this all together, because this is a testament to the caliber of drivers that you see. Usually you come to a track like Dover and there's a war of attrition that goes on. A lot of contact, a lot of wrecks. This place doesn't lend itself, especially coming out of turns, 4 and 2. You just really got to hold your mouth in the right way, and then you got a backstretch that's extremely unforgiving. So only having 2 cautions thus far tonight, I got to say that's pretty good, guys.
Yeah,
Only lost 5 cars from the field as well, so that's good to see.
it's definitely a track, Al, that sort of the cream will rise to the top as the race goes on, because it does take concentration, it does take talent, and a certain amount of skill to really get through 150 laps around Dover, that's for sure.
See there, moves being made, and this is the battle for P2 at the moment. The 93 of, sorry, it's not the P3, it's P6 and 7. Andy Sidner and Cody Kinsner at the moment racing it out and doing a good job on track, and they are really pushing. Got Sidner on the outside and Kinsley taking the inside, making the move, getting the pass done, getting himself up there. And now David Duais looking to try and work his way up there too. So some good battles on the track at the moment. Everybody sort of keeping, just driving and just keeping themselves out of trouble at the moment. It's the thing about this track and tracks like this. Sometimes you just have to drive and just get yourself into a rhythm for a few laps, and then at the end of the race, that's when you switch on the aggression and start going a little bit more for it.
You really got to look at it like it's just a long road trip. Watching the 88 set himself up as he was watching the 93 and the 6 battle, it just kind of gives you a little blueprint of what actually needs to happen. Sometimes it's not best to throw your hat in the ring. It's just kind of best to be the referee and watch what's going on. Guys, we still got a lot of racing going on here. I mean, right now we're only 73, just 2 laps off of halfway. And once we get halfway, then I'll start to see guys start to figure out where their standings are, and then you can be a little bit more aggressive going on the downhill swing.
Yeah, when it comes to a race like this where tire wear is going to be an issue, where you have to really be conscientious on how hard you're pushing, basically my process is I basically just, and this is kind of counterintuitive to what I was saying earlier about Dover, but I typically try to kind of fall back and just really cruise and take it easy and basically let everyone by. It's like, you want to push, go right ahead. You can go right on by. And I just cruise until I feel, all right, it's time to go, and then I start pushing. And by that time, my tires have barely been used. I'm able to start pushing, and I'm going up against guys that now have completely pushed all the life out of their tires. And all the things I was worried about at the beginning with having to get through traffic and fight guys, suddenly those passes become a lot easier because I don't have to worry about the car on my outside holding serve and pulling me off of the corner, because they try to do that and I just slip right on by because they do not have the grip to be able to maintain that speed on the outside and pull. So that's what I always do.
And you know what, halfway is definitely going to show you something else. It's going to show you the guys that actually came out and burned their stuff up, because those guys right now, they're not going to be around. They're not in your here. The guys that we're dealing with now are the guys that had a plan, that stuck to the plan, and now they can actually go out, take those theories, and actually, put them into practical applications and see if this is going to work. Can we stretch the fuel out? Can we save tires? Because it's going to be one of those strategies that not everyone else is doing. That's what it's going to take to get on winner's circle here tonight.
Absolutely. And we've got Kenny Powell out there, 78 laps into a stint at the moment. He's got a lot of tyres up his sleeve at the moment. He's not yet come into the lane, so he's going to be our litmus tester, the car that we keep an eye on and work out when everybody else needs to pit for fuel. When Kenny Powell comes into the lane, we know roughly what it is that the maximum sort of stint length is, so it'll be interesting to see how much further he goes out here tonight. We've got Devon Baker on track now. He just came into the lane, so on fresh tyres. So starting to give us an idea of what's going on there. So we're starting to see a handful of pit stops. Matt Briff coming into the lane as well. So we might start seeing some pit stops in the near future. And thinking about that,
Indeed.
We might just head to a quick ad break before we head into that furball that's going to be pit lane.
You've got what it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
And we are back with continued coverage of tonight's racing here inside Lane Productions. We're at Dover, Delaware at ARCA Sparks. Green flag pit stops underway. Watching a lot of drivers that had not actually pitted starting to come in. Kenny Powell was actually one of those leaders. He went a very long way without actually coming in the pit, so that's good. A lot of drivers coming back to what seems to be more manageable paces, but we're green and clean right now at Delaware, and that's got to be pretty awesome for everybody involved here.
Yeah, it's been good to see such a long green flag stint, and I'm sure a lot of drivers are enjoying that because usually it's so broken up at school.
Saw the 002 car give a heck of a punt to what I believe would be the 28.
And now he's coming down for a stop.
Now, not sure what that was about. But can we watch that one more time?
Let's see the replay here and figure out what's going on for this one.
002 seemed like he was just down for incidents.
So heading into the corner, just getting caught out maybe on the exit. Looks like the car in front may have just got a bit of a slide on the exit, just lost a little bit of traction, and that caught the 002 out.
Yeah, I think that was Dave Long he got into. I think he just was not anticipating that at all, and yeah, just made contact. He's probably like, man, I was just about to pit too. It's like, couldn't that happen the lap later? It's certainly been a night for that 002 car.
We actually already pitted once, and then I think I thought he had a drive-through for penalties.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this might have been for his normal scheduled stop for fuel and tires. I might be wrong about that. I probably am.
I think it might have been for a second drive-through, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're getting into second drive-throughs and drive-throughs. Jonathan Ray has got a drive-through. Matt Burth has got a drive-through as well. The incident points creeping up here. Quite a few drivers getting sort of close to it. Devin Baker up to 16 incident points. David Gervais up to 16 as well. So there are quite a few cars that are getting into that sort of danger zone. Kenny Powell, 12 incident points. Jeff Engler, 10. And David Long up to 12 incident points as well. So there are quite a few cars here that are getting close to those incident point limits. And that could affect how the racing goes as well in this one. As we've got more cars coming in for their pit stops as well. So there's a whole mix of things happening at the moment. Cars coming in for servicing, cars sticking it out, cars trying different things in this race.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of incident points, that changed my seat tonight. I was actually scheduled to race this thing, but went out and did a little racing at Dover there and probably got a little excited. And so incident points have actually put me in the booth with you guys instead of down there on the track with those guys. But hey, I like these seats as well.
Man, it's wild, all the drive-thrus we're getting. It feels like an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show. You get a drive-thru, you get a drive-thru, everybody gets a drive-thru!
Just shows how much people are pushing on the exit as well, because a lot of people giving that outside wall a little bit of a lick, and you've got to be so cautious of that. You know, if you give it a gentle kiss, it's fine, but if you're just a little bit too heavy, hitting that sort of safer barrier, you'll find yourself with a 2X, and those build up quite quickly.
Yeah, and it goes back to just, making sure you're all right on exit. Like you said, those 2Xs, they add up, and before you know it, you're in the danger zone. And then all it takes is just the slightest little contact with someone, or neck code rearing its ugly head, and all of a sudden you're having to go an extra stop down pit road.
I'm still stuck on trying to figure out if Oprah could complete this race without actually having to do a drive-through.
Hey, she could. It's Oprah. You don't know.
I just want to put the challenge out there. Hey, Oprah, go ahead and join the league. We'll get you set up with the rig. We'll train you. But we're gonna we're gonna do 150 laps at Dover to see if you can make it without actually having to do a drive-through.
I'm so down for that.
I feel like that would be good advertising for the series, but good advertising is good racing as well, and we're seeing that on track at the moment. Cody Kinsley just making it past Jeff Engel there, making his way up into P4 now, and we see the 002 back out on track, and I think the 002's come down pit lane again, just possibly for some fresh boots, or at least is on some fresher boots for those guys up ahead. It has some good speed in that car, just as he said. It's not been the night for Chaz Justice, unfortunately. We saw him leading a lot of laps early on, but just getting those instant points and just having them rack up so quickly. And you can see how easy it is there. The white car in the background there, just getting so close to the wall, and that was Dave Long. Just giving that wall just a minimum amount of space on the exit. But it's just so easy to give that wall a little kiss and just a bit too much, and you find yourself in serious trouble.
Well, we talk about this all the time. These races are more like it's like a heavyweight battle. And the thing is, it's not given to the guy that's going to come out here and be the fastest. If we see the 45 down on pit road, but it's got the guy that's going to make the smart choices. He's going to lay off. He's going to be patient. He's going to set himself up and his team, just like Kenny Powell did, guys. He stayed out. He's only pitted one time right now, and he made a difference. So that way these guys aren't working that hard. They're not working the car that hard. And when it comes down to it at the end of this thing, those are going to be the guys you're looking for. Craig Wojcinski out here holding down second place. You got Matty Raymond. And look, Australian Atlantic, Australian Floridian Australian. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, Ruben's a Kiwi, so calling him Australian. I mean, actually, mate, he's in the league at the moment, so that does make him an Australian. So that's fair enough.
Well, so can be an Australian. Is that how that works? I don't know.
Yeah. When
Kiwi
Kiwis doing well, when Kiwis do good, they become Australian. When Kiwis do bad, they become Kiwis. Same for Australians, actually. We deport them to New Zealand when they're actually doing badly. It's what happened to Mark Webber. He's technically a Kiwi these days. But so
good to know.
I didn't even know that.
We got a special colony on the South Island for iRacers that don't do so good. Send them back.
If we said that in America, they'd call us Republicans.
Ruben Phelps coming into the lane right now, getting it slowed down nicely, getting it to that speed limit. And as you said, green flag pit stops are a different beast at Dover. They are so tricky. You've got to get that car off the banking onto the flat of the pit lane, and the apron can be so unforgiving. It's so easy to spin a car out and find yourself in serious trouble. Greg Wachowski sticking it out on track, but Matty Ray just getting past now as Wachowski comes into the lane, so it's decided it's time to pit. With 44 laps remaining, it's time to come in and get those fresh tyres to use to the end. I wonder how long we're going to see Matty Ray sticking it out in the 83.
You know, you're looking at this and you see these guys that just ran 81 and 80 laps respectively on their tires, and I think they're kind of setting something up for you. They're showing you that, hey, if you watch that fall off, it wasn't that great. Now, these same drivers that only experienced about a second fall off in that period of time are going to come back out here, and instead of having to run 80 laps at the end, they're only going to run 40. Now, we've seen these guys be competitive at 40 laps on the restart and actually be able to keep the lead guys. So these calls that are being made now, I think, are above and beyond. I think these are the ones that we need watching right now.
You've got to also keep in mind that Matty Ray and Ruben Phelps are teammates, so I expect to see them hook up at some point and try and work together towards the tail end of this race.
And, you know, it's just like
that's a traffic jam.
Yeah. I was about to say jump up to the 45 because there's just a big moment there. I think Olsen just getting just a bit of rear end just not hooking up on the exit, and then you had a huge amount of cars just flying their way through. Cody Kingsley, Tristan Koch both into the lane now as well for their stops. So we've now got everybody having made their stops, and I think everybody's made their final stop as well, should be for this race, unless we get a green white checker, of course, and some people decide to chuck on a fresh set of boots. But the pack has shaken up.
You're still going to have the opportunity here for cautions, I guarantee you that. Right now, with the green flag cautions taking place, what you're going to experience is you're going to get drivers out on the racetrack, and they're going to be on different pit sequence. That means different lap tires between different drivers, and they're not going to know. So they're dependent on their spotters to tell them not just, hey, he's outside or inside, but you got to know what the pace difference is, because we've seen guys run into guys already here tonight. Well, man, that 45, can we look at the 45? Can we check out the 45? I just saw this. And I gotta just want to. That's a slick paint job.
Yeah, there's some absolutely gorgeous looking paint jobs out here tonight, and it's great to see a lot of these drivers. They do their own work on the paint jobs, or they hire somebody to help them out. And it's a different skill altogether getting the paint jobs on these cars done. It's a lot of work that goes into sim racing. And it's great to see people putting all of that effort into making these cars look so slick on track. Just jumping up to second place is Matty Ray. He has worked his way up into P2. His pit stop was so much faster. His pit entry, his pit exit. He managed to jump Greg Wachinski and get himself up into P2. So it's an SRM at 1-2 at the moment. We've just seen Tristan Koch here. He's got to stop and hold. He obviously sped in pit lane, came in for his pit stop. A little bit later than the leaders, would have had lovely fresh tyres, but unfortunately for Tristan, he has sped in the lane and got himself a penalty there, and that is such a painful thing to happen. But right now, it's looking good for SRM, who currently are sitting in first and second.
And I'm going to tell you, I was watching that 5-car Wachinski, and there's no doubt in my mind because he had 14.8 seconds in the box. Some of that time had to be spent repairing damage. No doubt throughout the race, he's probably made incidental contact with the wall, trying to get that taken care of so he can come back out here and run some of the fastest laps that he has, because with 36 laps to go, guys, it's going to take no less than your best.
Yeah, these guys are going to be sprinting to the end now. There's no sort of... There'll be, some of them will be considering just a little bit of tyre saving, just in case there's that late caution. But the majority are just going to be going flat out, foot to the floor, and just using up all of that tyre now. You don't need it at the end of the race. You might as well use it now. Ruben Phelps up the front, still setting some blistering pace. 23.5s. Just behind Manny Ray, 23.6s for himself and Wachinski. Kenny Powell, 24.9 at that last lap. That was a bit of a rougher lap, but then he is on 30-odd lap tyres, old tyres. So you've got drivers on some very old tyres, like David Long as well. And then Cody Kinsley is closing the gap on them on much fresher boots. So we've got a lot of different racing going on here. And as you said a bit earlier, Big Al, we've got multiple different tyre strategies on track, and that can often lead to fireworks.
And yeah, you know, you just go one step back from Matty Cisna, or from Cody Kinsey, and you're going to get Matty Cisna. And guess what? Those 7 drivers are the 7 drivers that currently make up the lead lap. That's right. Out of the 21 cars that we had when we started this thing, only a third of the field remains on the lead lap with 32 laps to go. So this is coming down to the great spot. Guys, I don't know how much we owe the sponsors on this one, because we got everybody in the place on their feet. I don't know if we can wait much longer before we take a break, because if we don't, we're going to have to ride this thing all the way through.
So we'll hit an ad break now, quick ad break to take us through to the final 30 laps. So thank you to the sponsors. We'll be back with you very, very shortly here on ARCA Sparks.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
And we are back here for ARCA Sparks. Big thank you to the sponsors, and a big thank you to you, of course, out there watching us in the land of social media and on the video platforming and streaming sites. A big reminder, just hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the buttons just to make sure you catch every race of the ARCA Sparks series. We will be heading off to USA International next time out on the 5th of April. So plenty of races still to come. This is round 1 of 11, so still 10 more races to come this season. Plenty of action to come here on ARCA Sparks. Well, we are 22 laps remaining here. It's Ruben Phelps in the lead with Maddie Ray, Greg Wachinski, Cody Kinsley and Maddie Cisner. Up is our top 5 at the moment. Plenty of action on track at the moment. Lots of places being swapped around and places being done. We've had a fantastic green flag run here for, well, I can't even remember how many laps it's been, but the majority of the race has been green, which is fantastic. And we've only lost 5 cars from tonight's proceedings. Chris Severa, Jerry Waters, Tyler McGee, Sebastian Kindler and Steve Hoppett. So only 5 retirements, 16 are still racing at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic stuff out there because the top 5 covering 3 different nations. So kudos to Kobe Jordan for organising this and the time slot that he's gone for. He's able to include so many guys from so many different areas, and of course the talent level from those 3 nations is just giving us some fantastic racing out there tonight, Carl.
Yeah, we've got some pretty savvy guys up in the booth here too, you know, because big guy won't come cheap. I'll just say that. No, but yeah, definitely, guys. In such great racing here with 19 laps to go, only 2 cautions. We're definitely going to be sitting here trying to see how this thing shakes out. Freshest tires on the racetrack right now, all the way back in 12th place, but they belong to a guy that's 8 laps down. Only having 4 cars on the lead lap, and they're all within 4 laps of each other on the tire, so I don't think that's going to be a factor. But what's going to be a factor right now is going to be strategy. Who's ready to put the hammer down, put their nose where it needs to be? Who's ready to show what they say, to show what they've learned? Guys, it's been a long one here tonight. This has been truly a heavyweight fight. But now we're into the last rounds, and I'm telling you, I'm asking you, where's your money? Who you picking? Like, the people want to know. Let us know. Who you picking tonight, boss?
Well, I don't want to put the commentator's curse on people because I'm very good at that one. So I'm going to abstain from this because I have got way too many people on my list at the moment who want to be paid back. Steve, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, look, I don't want to put the knockers on anybody either, but to be perfectly honest, I can't see much of a change in the top 5. We've 16 laps to go, about to click over down to 15, and barring anything happen, and heaven forbid it should, I can't see much of a change in the top 5. 1 or 2 positions might go back and forward as the guys continue to battle for a top 5 or a podium, but other than that, no idea.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. There's a couple things that I hold near to me that I got that are close proximity. That's the Bible and the American flag. And I tell you, I can't help but just know that number 5 car of Greg Wachinski is actually going to pull through tonight, guys. I can't see any other race that he doesn't finish on top of the leaderboard.
It's going to be a fantastic series. We've got some really big talent here, and it's great to see the international talent as well, mixing it with each other, because it just helps iron sharpen iron. That's the thing is, you know, you've got top drivers all around the world, and racing against them just helps you improve and just get that much bit quicker. And it's great to see people from America racing against people from Australia and Europe and everything like that, because you've got such different sort of styles that come across the world, but they all help improve. And it's one of the things I love about iRacing as well, is sometimes you jump into an official, they listen to your voice, they go, oh, you're British and you live in Australia, oh, you're going to be rubbish at an oval, and then you end up sort of doing really well, and it takes them by surprise a little bit. But the same can be said for vice versa as well, and it's just great to see people improving all the time, and that's what we're going to be seeing in this series, just the racing against people and people learning new names, learning new people, and, well, hopefully spreading the love and joy of oval racing worldwide.
Well,
Yeah,
to be perfectly honest, from a driver's point of view, I knew it was going to be tough tonight. Certainly, what I came in with no expectations whatsoever of what I was going to do, and that sort of stuff, which is great considering what took place, and the reason I had to park it. But yeah, look, this is going to be a fantastic series, and with the mix of tracks that we've got coming up as we follow the official iRacing series lineup schedule. Look, this is going to be fantastic. USA Speedway next week, much tighter and more of the
Much
same what we
flatter.
saw here.
Yeah, much tighter, much flatter. That track right there, I'm telling you guys, someone threw a pancake in the desert. That's what you got. 10 laps to go on this one. And, I was just throwing a little friendly banner out there because it is awesome that we're actually able to come together and fellowship through racing. This is something that Kobe put on, man. I've known Kobe Jordan for a while, and he's a stand-up guy, but I'm telling you what, you know who else is standing up? Everybody in the crowd, because this is no stage racing. This is all the way through flag to flag, and we've only had two. The next one could possibly end this thing. The next one could signify that the next one would end this thing. And I'm just looking at it, and it's coming down to be quite a sweet finish.
Look, Al, probably the most interesting statistic was on the screen a few moments ago, and that was that at the 140 odd lap mark, we'd had 6 lead changes. That was all. Considering the racing we've seen, we've had 6 lead changes and only 2 cautions for 143 laps. So yeah, that definitely talks about the quality of the racing and the skill level out there tonight. As the race has gone on, the racing's just gotten better once the guys have managed to exert their dominance and sort out their difference.
Sorry about that. Major contact right there between the 002, the 93, and the 4. These 3 guys came together, and it could have almost brought out the 3rd caution of the night, but it definitely rung somebody's bell, and I think it's going to affect the outcome for at least one of those 3 drivers.
And that was right in front of Ruben Phelps as well. So that could have really shaken things up. I was about to say another person that's probably on their feet at the moment is Mandy Phelps. Trying to go back that replay there of the 93 and 002. 93 just looks like it did not get a clear message. Has gone up on the 002, hit him into the wall. And it's a big impact. And unfortunately for the 002, that is a disqualification from the race. So real shame for Chaz Justice, who had some great speed out there. We'll see if we get the replay here, what happened. We'll continue on here for a little bit and try and get this one. I think it's just off of this corner. So watch the car in front of 93 just slides up in front and just change of position because that car in front hit the wall, goes down. Just reaction there, and that is a big moment. We're going to jump to our leader now, Ruben Phelps, because we are 2.8 laps away. As I said, I'm sure Miss Mandy Phelps is on her feet at the moment, mum of Mr. Ruben Phelps, and she was watching her son race. And, well, who could blame her for wanting to watch Ruben race like this tonight? He has been absolutely on it, getting himself up 12 positions in this race. The only man to get more positions so far tonight is his teammate behind, Mr. Matty Ray, a man I know well, a fellow Adelaide liver as well, who's not too far away from me, and he is going to be delighted with this one. Part of the man that basically runs SRM as well, Matty Ray, in Australia. He is going to be delighted with this result because it is looking good to be a 1-2. They're going to cross the line. The white flag is going to come out. The next flag will be the end of the race, and Ruben Phelps just needs to cruise round, just needs to make sure he doesn't make a mistake on this final mile of racing here at Dover, the Monster Mile, and it is going to be Ruben Phelps taking the first victory for ARCA Sparks here in 2025. Ruben Phelps for SRM takes the win. The 06 heads to victory lane. Matty Ray is going to be trying to come home in second position. He has Greg Wachowski right on his tail. There's a chance he could pass. No, Matty Ray gets low. Matty Ray makes it to the line and gets second place by a whisker. It's an SRM 1-2. Greg Wachowski came for the charge on the end, but just missed out. If that lapped car wasn't there, could have helped him, could have hindered him, but a great finish there for second and third place.
Yeah, I was watching the gap between Matty Raymond and Greg Wachinski there, and I could see Wachinski absolutely chomping at the bit to get at least alongside Matty Raymond so that he could challenge for that second spot, but just couldn't quite get there with that lapped car.
Great job from Matt Burff as well. He kept himself right out of the way. It was a bit of a Hakkinen, Schumacher and Zonta moment there at Spa. Matt Burff just kept himself right in the middle and kept himself out of trouble. Let the two fighting cars get around him and got across the line himself. But it's Ruben Phelps burning it up here at Dover and taking the celebration for SRM. Let's run through the results for tonight's race. And as we said, Ruben Phelps taking the win with Matty Ray following up for an SRM 1-2. Reb Wachonsky comes in third position with Matty Cisnet in fourth. Fifth place for Kenny Powell, up 9 spots from his start. Of course, Matty Ray, biggest mover and shaker of race, up 14 spots. Cody Kinsley comes home in 6th position with Dave Long in 7th. Jeff Engler comes home in 9th place with David Chase and 10th for Paul Olsen. I'll let you go through the rest, Mr. Big Al.
That's going to put Tristan Cook in 11th place with 12th place. Devin Baker, 13th place, shows Matt Mirth with Troy Mertenson's coming across in 14th. Chaz Justice in 15th with Jonathan Ray alongside him in 16th. 17th place shows Chris Severe with Jerry Walters in 18th. In the top 20 is rounded out by Tyler McGahee and Sebastian Kinder. Stephen Hoppett rounds out the 21 car field. With that done and the field called off, we're going to take one more step away and we'll be right back with our post-race coverage.
You've got what it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, ready for countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Man, this is some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard. Ooh.
These go to 11.
If you love the thrill of racing but hate the risks, then buckle up. Everything Simulated is here to merge adrenaline with absolute safety. In a world where technology meets adrenaline, Everything Simulated is revolutionizing driver training with state-of-the-art simulators. From truck training to the thrill of motorsports, our simulators offer the most realistic experiences across all automotive applications. Gone are the days of endless bookwork and basic drills. Now it's all about hands-on, pulse-pounding action that prepares you for the real deal. Whether you're maneuvering a heavy mining vehicle or racing a high-speed car, our simulators, equipped with cutting-edge technology from leaders like Simrigs and Track Racer, bring every nuance of the drive to life. And talk about making a mark. We're not just building simulators, we're fostering talent. From grassroots motorsports to professional series like the Aussie Outlaw GT3, sponsored by us, Everything Simulated is fueling dreams and careers. Ready to feel the excitement of the racetrack under your fingertips? Connect with us, and let's build your next simulator adventure together. Remember, we support those who support us. Join the Everything Simulated family, and let's race towards the future.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
And we are back with our post-race coverage of the Everything Simulated ARCA Sparks race here at Dover, Delaware. I am joined in the booth by our third place finisher, Mr. Greg Wachinski. Greg, Big Al off the booth, you got me.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Big Al?
Greg, you were my pick to win this thing. You had the car to beat. You guys showed up here, and I'm telling you, you were fast. You led one lap. What happened besides you getting cheated out of this thing? What happened? Tell us.
Well, I mean, I did sign into the race like during qualifying, so I didn't get a chance to practice. So I mean, you know, that might have hurt me a little bit. I don't know. It was, I mean, I would say luck. I mean, I just kind of missed everything that happened out there. It was a good, clean race, but it was a lot to dodge.
Looks like you were at the right place at the right time, man. You know, how many laps you think you put in here at this track getting ready for the nice competition?
Maybe 50, 100 laps this week. Something like
And
that.
do you think maybe if you'd have doubled that, you might have been able to pull this thing off?
I don't know. I don't think so. Ruben was fast. I mean, I was keeping pace with him for a little bit there. I don't know if he was just, you know, messing with me, and then he just steadily pulled away from me. He was really consistent, really fast. So was Matty. I mean, you know, the first half of the race, I was in front of him, and the second half of the race, it took me a bit to catch up to him, and then right at the end, you know, maybe a couple more laps, it might have been even more interesting.
I tell you what, it's a new league here, new fit, new look, nice paint scheme, by the way. Good throwback to Jeff Gordon. What is your overall thought of the league?
Yeah, it's fun, a lot of fun. This Dover's my favorite track, so it couldn't have started at a better one. Yeah, I mean, it was tough fighting the lap traffic out there, but I mean, the car is you know, the track's really bumpy, and it's a really hard track. So I mean, yeah, I thought everybody did a good job.
Absolutely. This is going to give you a pretty good points bump. Next week, we head to USA International. What can we expect from the number 5 machine?
And I couldn't tell you. I've never driven this car on that track before. I mean, it's going to be similar to tonight, I would hope. You know, that's all I can hope for.
Roger that, boss. Who you shouting out here tonight for your third place finish?
Well, of course, you guys up there, you know, taking your time to broadcast all this. And Kobe, who puts all this on. My racing teammates at Gas and Go Racing, Kenny and Paul and David. Chris Severa was in here too for a little while. That's about it.
Roger that, boss. As I always say, don't party too hard, and we'll see you next week. Good luck to you.
See you guys.
Finisher over to Australia, and it's our second place man for SRM. It's Mr. Matty Ray. Matty Ray, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on P2 here at Dover for this first round of the ARCA Sparks, and well, a good night for you and the team.
Cheers, Carl. How you doing? You good, mate?
I'm keeping on at the moment. I'm still standing. Well, I'm sitting, but you know we can only be so upright all the time. A great round for you, a great opening salvo from you and the team tonight. You done much running in this new ARCA car?
Only a little bit this week because we knew this was coming up. So me and Rubes just jumped into practice for a little while and did 50, 100 laps, something like that, and did a couple of officials. And yeah, it's a good fun car to drive. I don't mind it.
Oh, you did a couple of officials. I'm surprised you said it was good and fun after that one. No, it's a nice new car, a bit different to what we're used to running. Something that's very different for racing. We're talking about how tight it can get on the exit if you're not quite off the throttle.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the big thing it seems with this car is just looking, well, around here anyway, it was looking after that right front. But even the left front, it was tearing a bit of rubber off of that one too. So, but no, it was a bit of a challenge. But as long as you sort of look after it, you can maintain it and manage it. Because seen Greg pitted like a lap or two before me, but when I come out, I had a bit of a gap on him. So I think I picked up a bit of time through the lane, and then just sort of a case of managing that gap a bit with him.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw you jump him in at the pits, and I know you guys practice a bit, particularly pit stops as well. You're very, very quick in the lane and out of it. So that's sort of one of the things I know that you guys work on a bit. But getting the car right tonight, it was a sort of classic Matty Ray moment. You started down the back, up 14 positions on the podium. It's vintage Matty Ray night.
Bit nostalgic. Well, we're going back to the roots of the ARCA stuff, so thought I may as well not qualify and see how we go. And happened to end up just behind Rube, so not a bad night overall, really.
We did see, though, I think it was the second caution. It was a bit of a brown trousers moment. Very, very close save for you.
Yeah, I shit myself a little bit there, But, it would have had to been close. I don't know if he's got a good look on the replay or not, but it would have been real close, eh?
Yeah, we saw it on the replay. We definitely don't blame you for that happening, right? No.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I supplied some entertainment for you then, yeah.
Great to see you up in the booth as well, and obviously great night for the team and a great start to the series.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. I mean, I will probably it's a weekly series, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll only be able to probably make half of it due to work commitments, but I'll run when I can. It's great fun. These all new names, a lot of guys I haven't seen I'm racing against tonight, and they're all good, clean, respectful, all that sort of thing, so it's good.
We look forward to seeing you when you can get out here. Hopefully we can see you quite a few more times in the booth in the future, mate. Any personal shout outs you'd like to give? We'll make Ruben do all the hard stuff.
Yeah, I mean, of course, all the team, of course. Lockie and Brenton woke up late, otherwise he would have been here himself. But, or work or something, I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. But, our usual sort of sponsor list, Moondog and Scotch Race Fuels. Brenton down there's been a help, and Alex at Cutsick Sticker Co. For making up some stickers for us. And our charities, Tourette's Australia and the Alopecia Foundation. And you guys too, for putting all this on too. All the work you guys go to.
Don't thank us, we do nothing. It's Kobe that does all the work, we just sit here.
Yeah, Kobe's been putting in some hard yards with this, so cheers, bud.
That's right, I just take the commentators just take all the credit. We're the faces of everything.
You're like us drivers, we just show up and put on, look at us. Yeah, I got you.
Thanks so much, Matty Ray. I'm sure we'll talk to you in the future. But for tonight, congratulations on P2.
Thank you, lads. Cheers.
And finally, we're going to hop across the pond a little bit over to New Zealand. It is Mr. Ruben Phelps. Rubes, welcome to the booth, mate. Congratulations on victory here for the inaugural ARCA Sparks race at Dover.
Yeah, hello, Carl. Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those sorts of races where you weren't sort of unsure. I've only done a handful of laps myself in this car. Obviously, it's only been, a week or 2 weeks old, so, it's different, but, pretty straightforward. You go left and, keep going left.
You've got to turn right to turn left sometimes. I mean, come on, that's part of the fun.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yep.
A great run out here tonight. Obviously, we've just heard from Matty Ray, and you've done a little bit of practice for this one. Do you think this car suits your driving style a little bit?
It's definitely a lot more slow motion, that's for sure. But I mean, you sort of have to stick to it. But with this car, you don't have the downforce or any power to go with it, so you sort of have to either go in slow and wait to get back on the gas. But I mean, Dover's always been a really, really good track for me anyway, so it sort of matched me a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, heading off to USA International next time out, very different beast to tame. Are you feeling sort of confident for that one? Have you got any ideas of how you're going to go?
God, I haven't run that track since bloody 2019 when I was a rookie myself, so don't even know what I'm going to expect there.
Flat and lots of left turns.
Yes.
Yeah, so it should be an interesting one for sure. Obviously, victory here tonight, that's always a nice thing, especially taking the first one in a season, especially for a new series as well. That must be a fantastic feeling.
Oh, definitely. No, it's like, to be fair with you, I was supposed to qualify, but I was too busy in a chit chat and forgot all about it, and then realised I was starting 12th. But like, only think like if everybody's saying they've done like 5,000 odd bloody laps, and I'm just thinking, shit, I only did 90.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You sort of come in, you're like, oh, I feel underprepared now.
Yeah, but it's, you know, trying to get used to how other people race here, and, you know, new faces, new names, new league, new car. You know, you sort of got to take it a bit, you know, a bit easier. But I mean, I don't want to say I drove too easy because that's not fair. But I mean, it was a clean race, and you know, the back markers, you know, a couple of hairy moments with a couple, but I mean, it was pretty clean other than that.
The new car seems to be a car that rewards underdriving a little bit. It's a bit like the Gen 4 or the 87 car, where if you underdrive it just a little bit, it just gives you such good long run pace.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's because the last couple of years has just been flat out, and now it's like a car that's just like you can, you know, wait and be patient, and actually you see the difference. So, you know, if you keep doing that, then, because with this car you sort of had to wait till at least just after halfway around the corners before you can really get back on the gas, depending on where, you know, where if you can get that rear to do something, then you should be okay with the right front, which to be fair, using the bottom was actually what it was. So, but you just managing where you get back on the gas is the, you know, the biggest thing.
Well, just the final thing for tonight. Obviously, a lot of international flavour here. A lot of Americans. We've got the Frenchmen out there as well, and the Australians. But you're the lone Kiwi, I think, out here tonight, and the lone Kiwi took victory.
Well, that's what, you know, the flightless flying Kiwi.
Absolutely.
Flies low.
Yeah.
I did manage to slip in the flying Kiwi at least once tonight, Rubes.
Yeah.
Congratulations tonight, mate. Well done. It's great to chat to you up in the booth. It's been a while since I've had a chat to you up in the booth area. But before I let you go, look, love, shout out sponsors, people, and of course, a big hello to your mum.
Yeah, she was watching for sure. But yeah, of course, SRM Australia, Maddie Ray, and of course Lockie and the rest of the team sort of had a bit of a quiet stable lately, but all good. And of course, our sponsors, Scotch's Race Fuels, Cut 6 Sticker Co., Moondog, and of course TS Street Australia and Australia Outpatient.
Thank you so much, Rubes. Great list on there and fantastic little charities on there too. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll see you back in the booth in the near future. But for tonight, thank you so much and congratulations on that victory.
Cheers.
Well, we are done and dusted tonight. A big thank you to James Watson and, of course, Big Al joining us up here in the booth, as well as Steve Hoppett, our surprise guest. Big thank you, of course, to Kobe Jordan for getting everything running for the series, getting everything up and running, getting all the hard work done in the background, and of course pushing all the buttons, keeping us in line in the booth. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, looking to join the league, the information will be coming up on screen in the very near future. Please share around on the socials for the racing. Let everybody know what's going on for the ARCA Spark series so they can catch up, catch in, and join us for some more action. We will be back next Saturday for some more action. It's Friday night for you American viewers. A big thank you to everybody for joining us here tonight, and we will see you all again very soon for the next round of the ARCA Sparks.